What's interesting is that the Bloodseeker came out so early, and typically I feel like Bloodseeker is countering certain like core heroes,
Sure.
so that part's kind of a little bit frightening. I'm definitely gonna wait to see exactly what Pari Parni have last and make sure like is there some sort of like a cheese thing I'm missing? Like I mean they just want someone who can survive and sustain in lane. Sure, it is a strong position 1 hero, but I don't know, not something I would have expected so soon.
Okay. Lizard. Can I get your thoughts on the OneMove draft though? I'm kind of curious about them. I'm curious about what you think against this Bloodseeker. Do you go for a strong core to core? Do you play tempo like the enemy? How do you make this draft work?
Good, it passed. Like, I was about to sneeze, and I was in that moment, you know, when you when you just said lizard, but it went away. I can talk. OneMove, I do like the storm pick from them. It allows you to. We were talking about them potentially having this dead ball with the Beastmaster, right? And you just push. Storm can zip into the backlines on the Wyvern, on the Zeus that are trying to defend. So seeing it that way, it can work. One thing that you always have to be worried though is Winter's Curse into any sort of a follow up, any sort of a stun, right? Because it's instant cast, and then you can follow up with the Blood Right, with Night Stalker having that mist of silence around him, whatever it's called, I forgot. And you need an earlier BKB, I guess, on Storm. What do they need? They need a carry that can stand and fight and doesn't care about the Bloodseeker, right? Some Medusa comes to my mind, maybe a bit too greedy. Oh, Wind Ranger, that's your 4, right? Or a 5?
Probably.
Yeah.
Unless for some reason they want to put Zeus for it, but I would think that the Wind Ranger should be 4.
Yeah. A ton of heroes that don't really enjoy playing against Storm way too much. But is Storm dead? Like, is this hero viable any longer? Like, he's not really picked very often.
It's kind of the worst of the spirits, it feels like these days, huh?
Yep.
I mean, his Ags is still sick for sure, but he has no mana helper this game, which is a little frightening. Like when I've seen it lately, I've seen it with Io and Crystal Maiden actually twice. And I was like, oh, nice. That actually worked. Like the hero felt more like Storm Spirit before, but then you're sacrificing a lot of your draft. And now we're looking for a position 1.
You need 3 heroes to make him into what he used to be.
Yeah.
That's impressive. You can't buy the null talisman, so you pick him instead, I guess. We'll see what the final pick for Pari Parni is, though, and what works with the Storm.
Pick Troll and lose. Can I predict that?
No, not against Winter Wyvern.
Can I predict that? Well, okay, every carry hates Winter Wyvern, first off. And plus, you have no control over your hero anyway when you play Troll. So it's fine. You don't care if you get cursed. You're like, oh, I ulted anyway. That's not on me.
No, the cold embrace, I mean.
I didn't see I didn't see the bans, but the Sniper and Medusa have been banned out when I called her. So that's the idea that they need to go for, right? Heroes that stand their ground and just hit, and don't care about rupture or being ruptured.
Yeah,
Terrorblade's not horrific. There is Zeus, but yeah, I don't know.
Zeus, Wyvern.
Yeah. It's like Zeus covers some carries, and then Bloodseeker covers the rest, and Wyvern. So it's like
pick your poison here, right?
Just where you pick Faceless Void and don't miss. Yeah, Jug is definitely a default pick. Jug loses games, though.
It's just literally pick a carry, Juggernaut.
Yeah. He's not a game winner. You know who's a game winner? Anti-Mage. There you go. Anti-Mage is the win.
Anti-Mage is actually terrible.
Look, you're going to lose anyway, all right? You might as well pick the default carry.
I mean, if you're going to pick a carry, it's better to be countered by Zeus, it seems like, because Storm counters him. But if you get countered by Bloodseeker, you don't really have any options here. So maybe Terrorblade is the game. Oh, they go for the Void. On point, guys. Well done. Just never miss.
He's all right.
Yeah,
he's got issues. I would pick Void here because whenever things are looking bad, I'm just like, all right, I'm picking Void and gonna hit sick Chronos. So
do you support them as a fellow Void picker? Do you think they're gonna win this game?
I would much rather see this Faceless Void than a Troll or a Juggernaut or maybe a Terrorblade. So I'll get. Hey man, the bar is low. I've seen way too many Jugs lately. All right, Jug and to lose is a pretty true combo lately. So yes, go OneMove.
All right, Blizzard.
I think that they were facing like a tough decision, right? Like whatever they picked on that carry role wouldn't really fit it. Even this Void, you're playing into a Winter Wyvern, right? So you chrono someone, he gets cold embraced, and they have no damage in the chrono besides right clicks from the void. So I don't think it's a perfect draft or a pick. They can make it work. They can maybe crush Pari Parni from just some skirmishes, but overall, I think that Pari Parni have a better draft.
Looks
Night
way
Stalker,
easier.
yeah, Night Stalker versus the Beastmaster as well. You can eat his creeps. I think it's way easier for Pari Parni to execute.
Okay. A little bit divided on the panel. Void Enjoyer versus Better Draft. We'll see who's right here. And we do have two casters ready for you. As we commented in the beginning, OneMove did go for a little bit of the forest critters, the big creepy crawlies. That's why we brought these casters straight from the land down under, where they're experts on this. At least one of them is. The other one seems to be a liar. So let's go over with Ares and Danog, see what they say about game number 1.
Yeah, thank you, Arvo, and the panel. Hang on, Danog, who do you think is the liar? Am I the liar? You the liar? What's going on here? I'm a little bit intrigued.
You've been gaslighting me for months and months now about all these different things, predictions being called left, right, and center. How's the haircut, by the way? I think it's looking pretty sick. But
yeah, we're not looking
we
at
gotta
that.
make sure. We got to make sure we get into the game pretty quick because we have smokes on both sides, as is the norm coming through here. You and I, we were talking through private messages through in the draft. I love the Storm Spirit pick. You just needed someone that was able to get in onto the backlines, disable either the Zeus or the Winter Wyvern. I really liked the Night Stalker pick as well, going up against, these squishy heroes, someone that was able to deal with the Beastmaster. And the thing that I really wanted out of this last pick overall was a Lifestealer coming through. But we could see Smiling Knight, of course, Grand Master on his Faceless Void, so clearly he feels the confidence. This is a series that OneMove really need to win, so maybe they're just going to go, look, it might not be the absolute best hero-to-hero matchup, but it's what we're comfortable with.
And then for Pari Parni, they get one of your favorite heroes, Mr. Danog, the Winter Wyvern picked up from Immersion. The favorite hero. I saw even Lizard said, he's thinking this hero should be first phase a little bit more often. You, in one of our previous casts, said that you think this hero is a top 5. I heavily, well, I don't want to say heavily, but I disagreed. And hearing Lizard
you
say
heavily disagree. Don't you try and backtrack now. Now that one of the people that you're a bit of a fiend for is agreed with you again.
I did not say, you're all right, here we go. See, you're gaslighting me now. Wow, it's just... Well, look at the cycle we're on.
There's absolutely no way that Wyvern was a top 5 hero. I'd say that's a fairly strong statement. But yeah, I think Immersion's going to have a fairly good game. Realistically, the only hero that he's worried about right now is the Storm Spirit. And obviously, Storm Spirit also needs to deal with the Zeus throughout all of these games. So it's going to be a bit of an issue for who exactly they make their initiation onto. I feel like with Pari Parni, as long as their positioning is good, they're going to be able to very easily counter a lot of this early push that you've got from the Enchantress and the Beastmaster. Just stand behind the towers and how can they jump you? And then beyond that, you just need to make sure that the Zeus and the Wyvern aren't standing on top of each other. If you don't go on the Wyvern, she's just going to cold embrace whoever gets gone on by the Void. So I feel like Pari Parni, like the panel was saying, does have the easier to execute draft.
I do think, though, for OneMove and how they unlock this lineup is going to be off the back of this Storm Spirit and being able to jump to the tower. Like you just mentioned, you've got the Wyvern, the Zeus to be able to deep push. The Bloodseeker's pretty decent with Blood Riot, but he's probably going to be back in the jungle. So I think this game is really on to Melajul, not only to deal with the supports and the Zeus as the game goes on, but really just to help bring down these towers. Because otherwise, you're just going to be bumping your heads against objectives, and you'll never be able to get towards the heroes that are actually deep pushing. And so I think Storm has to have a good start, and I think the way to enable that is you bring some support rotations, secure the water runes, get those power runes as well up on Melajul.
Pretty good heroes to be able to rotate through with the Enchantress and the Hoodwink. Obviously both great at doing that sort of job, but I mean, the reason that you picked this Enchantress is that you really wanted to just dominate the lane. It's obviously pairs together pretty well with a push as well, but I guess with a Night Stalker coming up against you, not the strongest laner early on, and that's why I was really wanting something that was a little bit more aggressive for that position 1 role for OneMove. Obviously, like I said, Grandmaster, so you got to believe in him, but something like a Lifestealer would have been fantastic.
We do see down bottom, though, they've only blocked up the hard camp from Pari Parni. So Pantoman is still going to have his own jungle to be playing with.
Top Kushi's also taken a fair amount of harass, getting bopped a little bit by the Wild Axes. Obviously, you've got the
bottom
Blood
lane
Riot
heaven.
there, which does...
He might be in trouble. they have the early level coming through from Smiling Knight in the time dilation, and that enables Pantomime to be able to chase down Heaven on the Wind Ranger. So OneMove finding first blood to start off our game 1.
Yeah, I was mentioning before, you and I were discussing the draft as it was happening. I was really wanting them to go for a strong position 4. And Wind Ranger can, I suppose, fit the bill a little bit, but not with the Wind Run, right? We saw it there. Pantomime just making sure that he was using the enchant as soon as the Wind Runs popped. Then suddenly you don't have that escape mechanism. And then, of course, Smiling Knight able to get a little bit of damage in with the time dilation, like you were saying. And then it's an Enchantress. You've just got a crazy amount of damage early on.
Good start for OneMove down bottom. Looks like mid lane pretty even. This is just going to be a farm lane. Nothing too crazy is going to happen. Really going to be looking again to the rotations and the level 6. Maybe the Press Kid with that Thunder God's Wrath can have a little bit of impact in the side lane, because they do have ways to kind of bring heroes down low, but with the lack of stuns, you kind of, it might be easy for OneMove just to be able to retreat. So with that bonus burst, you might be able to secure the kill. But yeah, I really feel like the Zeus and Storm Spirit early on, it's just going to be farming between the two.
You watching Depressed Kid right now? Oh, there was a little bit in the mid lane where he was literally just standing just to the right side of the small camp in the river, not even last hitting, not even denying, just making sure that he was soaking up some of that experience that Melojul was getting. That was a really cute and clever play coming through from him there.
Trying to min-max as much as possible for Depressed Kid. So he's able to get at least one of the water runes. Melojul is able to do the same as well.
This is one of those mid lanes that both sides really like playing it, right? Because you're spamming out your spells with the Static Remnant and the Arc Lightning. Both of them are just like, all right, Magic Stick, Bottle, we're going to be able to trade these fairly easily. Neither of us have amazing movement spells until Storm Spirit's level 6. So they're just like, all right, trade, farm, farm, farm. We're going to have a fun time.
I'm really intrigued to see, honestly, how the Storm... Oh, bottom lane, Heaven. They're able to get the Purge at the Wind Run. Smiling Knight has a level in the bash. Will not require one to come out, as they can easily close the distance again with all the slows they're playing with. So another death given over to Heaven.
Very important, though, that they were able to take out that Sato Mind Stealer that they were able to get over on Pantomime. He was almost entirely burning out Pasha's mana. Had a couple of seconds left until the next cast, but that's the benefit about having these Sato Mind Stealer camps. There's 2 of them. So he's just going to get another one, look to get a tiny bit of farm for himself, and then just go straight on back to the lane, continue the burn.
Yeah, I wonder what the play actually is for Pantomime, if he goes back to the lane or not, because you do have, in just under 30 seconds, you're going to have this first power rune. Looks like Seiyu is already starting to make his rotation to the top rune. So again, really important. If the Storm can get a kind of an active rune, then maybe we could see that first play coming out from Melojul.
Potentially. I think they want to make sure that they get the power in, obviously, first and foremost, but I don't really see them using it on Melojul if he was to get it until the top lane is able to be converted onto. Luckily enough for Depressed Kid, though, it's going to be a nice little regen for the bot side, so they've been able to build up any stacks for him in the triangle, not just yet, so he's not going to be able to accelerate his farm quite as quickly as he would like, but still having a great start.
Phantom? No, he's going to be chilling. Yep, so back to they go. Depressed Kid just getting whatever farm he can. A very passive start. Of course, OneMove off to a good start down bottom, but it looks like all the other lanes, the cores are getting farm. I guess, honestly, the worst core at the moment sitting in their net worth is Afterlife on this Beastmaster. But we'll see how they're able to help him out through that early game. We are going to get a rotation, actually, from Depressed Kid to top.
Hey.
Afterlife should be able to bring Kim down. Depressed Kid. They even given the Blood Rage as well, so just a little bit of bonus spell amp.
They did it. They did the thing.
Woo!
How much extra is
What
it?
is it?
50%. I think
15.
that's pretty good for a value point, yeah.
Oh, it's a lot. Hang on. That is a crap load. To go up to 30%. Again, like,
Yep.
are you really going to be using it for someone else? But, you know, we see the
So-
potential of it early.
You know these cores. You know how I feel about cores? Just greedy.
Oh boy, here we go.
They want everything
Not
for
the
themselves.
core talk again.
You know, I was right about the Wyvern and its position in the meta, and I'm right about this.
Debatable. I don't know, just because Lizard said it doesn't mean it's right.
And Insania, and me, Grandmaster, Winter Wyvern. You know, they were talking about how you got these very good, like, one-trick players. I might be one of them. Nowhere near a pro, though. But, yeah, we've almost approached that level 6 mark on Afterlife on the top side. The thing I really like about OneMove's draft, previously to this, they'd played 4 games of Hoodwink, hadn't won a single time. And I feel like that was because the drafts that they had didn't necessarily allow them to use the big strength of it, which, of course, is the pick-off potential that you've got with a Sharpshooter. This time around, look at what you got. You got the Primal Roar eventually, you've got the Storm Spirit with the Electric Vortex, you've even got the Chronosphere. I know Lizard was saying that they don't have a ton of damage to go inside the Chrono, but it's not that bad, right? Later on, you're going to have the Wild Axes, you're going to be able to have that Hoodwink power, Storm Spirit, depending on the placement of the Chrono, can be decent, so I think this is certainly salvageable for OneMove, but they got to make sure that they are making that movement around the first use of the Sharpshooter.
It is also a game where Infestor's Void really likes having bonus attack speed, of course, with the bash proc, so the Inner Beast is going to be really nice for Smiling Knight. So if he's able to have a really good game, could be... We see often at the moment that Faceless Voids aren't really that main damage source inside the Chronos. You're often putting a lot of emphasis in your drafts of getting someone else to pump in the damage, but if you can, in a beat, yeah.
Could they make a play top? They've just hit level 6 on Afterlife, but it looks like Pari Parni kind of have an understanding of the current situation. Melojul all the way back in base, and yeah, he's TPing top. They want to make sure that they can make the most out of this timing again, but with these 3 heroes and Pari Parni there to be able to intercept it, might feel a little bit lacking. They'll need to just suffice to have a single kill, or will they?
Munkushi is going to try and step in with a Rupture. They're going to roll it in place as well. Hang on, look, the magic damage is pumping in. Munkushi felt like he could take that engagement, but that's not going to be the case as OneMove. Well, they prove they can still bring down the Bloodseeker with ease, so a beautiful move from Melojul joining Afterlife up top.
You're getting a good amount of push happening into this mid tower, but...
Hang on, they might get the Zeus as well. Look at the pushback mid. Melojul instantly pouncing on this opportunity as OneMove chain that into another kill across the map.
Like I said at the start, it's all about the positioning coming through from the Zeus and the Winter Wyvern. You can't be giving up your life for free. I think Immersion's position previously was quite good. I mean, he was the one that tanked that gank. It would have been a very good... use of his movement there if it was the Bloodseeker that just didn't feed his life away. But, you know, now with the kill onto the Zeus, this is something that they need to be discussing on Pari Parni. How can we make sure that we're making our life count?
How are you making plays on Pari Parni? They have 2 kind of supports that struggle in that regard. Wind Ranger kind of can at like minute 15 if you do get that Gale Force. I mean, like, we kind of see the Gale Force before the blink, but your offlaner is a little bit more cooldown dependent and also just timing dependent if it's nighttime or daytime. So how do Pari Parni actually start making plays throughout the the early game here?
I think Pari Parni are very... They understand that they can't do anything until they hit those timings, right? So they're focused a little bit more on the farming aspect right now, on protecting their cores like the Wyvern was doing up towards the top side. It's all on Pasha, right? He is level 8. He's not doing too bad. And of course, he's going to be rushing that Aghanim Shard just to be able to, again, negate a lot of this movement that OneMove are looking to try and do, helping the Dominators up. So next time he's got that Dark Ascension available, and, well, around the 15-minute mark, that's when he's going to be wanting to join in. But until then, I think he's happy enough to just play down on this bottom side, although top caught out the target.
Yeah, they're going to be able to jump Immersion, but look at the turnaround. Heaven gets the Shackle to Presskid nearby to be able to offer the damage, and Storm Spirit pops. But look at Smiling Knight. He's going to jump in with the Chronosphere onto 2. Sayu as well, dropping the Sharpshooter, so they'll get rid of the Zeus off to the left side, though. Munkushi being able to bring down Afterlife on the Beastmaster. He'll escape to the north, but it looks like Heaven will not have the same fate. A great movement coming up from Smiling Knight, though.
It was a fantastic movement, and again, we saw the usage out of the Sharpshooter. It's just these abilities that make it so easy for you to be able to use it. They have no abilities like the Telekinesis Lift for friendlies, the Fire Snap Cookie, the Dispose, to be able to disrupt the Sharpshooter connecting until you get something like a 4-star. So I really like the fact that Smiling Knight came top. Still though, Pasha, he is just playing like a position 1 right now. He wants to make sure that he's able to join in here.
You got it.
Oh, great usage.
What is that? Heaven! What a shackle onto 2. They're not going to go for the hoodwink instead, so Sayu, or maybe
might.
still Pasha. That Dark Ascension to play with, so plenty of vision to chase down the hoodwink and depress Kid. He'll be able to once again get the damage racking up. Oh my heaven, that was beautiful.
Yeah, very, very nice usage out there. And that's what you want, right? Pasha making his first movement to actually join the rest of the team, gets awarded with a couple of kills. He knows that prior to BKBs, he's the one that's needed to be able to lock down the Faceless Void, the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit's actually going for the Orchid this game. Not sure how amazed I feel about that. I mean, maybe he feels like he just needs the little bit of extra damage as well as the silence to be able to take out the Winter Wyvern. Because again, that is going to be his main priority in a lot of these engagements. Take out the Wyvern, the world's your oyster.
I think even the Wind Ranger as well, you're going to have big issues with the evasion. Like Storm does kind of rely on right clicks to help with those procs. This is a deeper 10 man. That's a T2 tower.
Very deep.
Yeah, Malachos. Oh my. Pantomime looks like he should be okay as well. We saw that engagement up top, but the Enchantress wasn't nearby. In fact, Pantomime, he TP'd down to defend the tower, but he also took his own tower. So OneMove, they've taken a tier 1 top. They've also taken a tier 1 bottom.
Yeah, it's very clear that OneMove are based a lot more around the early game. Obviously not with all of their heroes. They've got a Faceless Void, they've got a Storm Spirit that now doesn't need to just rely on some Null Talismans to have a good amount of impact, but Enchantress is doing what she can at this stage, right? Which is push. You've got that, you've got the Beastmaster, all tier 1 towers claimed. They haven't got a single one on Pari Parni just yet. I mean, just look at the heroes that they've got, right? They need this farm. But you've got the Maelstrom now on the Bloodseeker, so he's going to be able to push out those lanes a little bit easier. And Pasha, he's just still continued to save for this Aghanim Shard. He wants to be able to respond to this next movement coming out from the Beastmaster.
They should know this defense is occurring. They got the scan on at least one hero. They also saw the Storm Spirit moving back to his own base, trying to refill the resources, and it's often a move where we see Storm just expend all his mana, go back to base, TP out to a side lane, and get set up for an engagement. So nice read from Pari Parni. They're going to back off, feeling like, again, this is not really the biggest timing for them. Moonkushi, there's this Bloodseeker, very reliant on kind of that double items, which is the Maelstrom and the BKB.
There we go. Instant Aghanim Shard purchase from Pasha. So he's free to respond to anyone. Just use the Hunter in the Night first onto a creep, of course. It's another great way to just extend your farm.
Nice scan.
Got a good ward set up as well by Heaven to be able to catch out the Faceless Void. But yeah, like you said, that scan just catching out. Obviously, you know that the rotations are going to start to eventually come when you've got this nighttime available for the Beastmaster. Look at the drawing on the map. They know exactly where Afterlife is. Maybe just seeing recently that the aura was there. Oh, there we go. There's your tempo.
Yeah. Hung around for a little bit too long. Even though they got that scan, they drew on the map as well, so they knew the direction that Pari Parni was moving up to, but didn't want to try and TP out. Bottom lane, they do see the rest of OneMove starting to veer their attention down to bottom.
Positioning.
Yeah,
His
perfect.
position really well. Well, he has to be careful not to go too far forward. Obviously, a Chronosphere onto both would still be just so devastating, but he's got the right idea. He's positioned exactly where he needs to be, just to protect the farm that's coming through right now. But the issue is Melojul's just taking that farm inside the triangle. Ooh, immersion.
Get the curse, Melojul. With the sharpshooter as well. Not enough damage actually to bring down the Winter Wyvern.
And he's out of
Melojul,
mana.
they're going to see that he's out of resources here. Moonkushi, yeah, this is the time where you can use the Rupture and almost a power shot claiming the kill. Smiling Knight.
I mean, they don't have Dark Ascension. They do have the ability to chase, though.
He's going to try and TP out. Is there a cancel? Heaven just a little bit too far away to be able to get that shackle off.
Have a look even just at Pasha's skill build. You know, most of the time you see the offlane Night Stalkers just go the 1 point in the Crippling Fear at this stage because you know, it's still got a pretty good amount of impact, but it's just so important that he needs to be the one to stop this Face of the Void from scaling. He needs to be the one to prevent the Storm Spirit from having that impact and being able to engage onto the Wyvern and the Zeus. So I like the fact that he hasn't just gone this cookie cutter style. He's adjusted his gameplay for the game. Even just saving up all this gold, right? He could very easily have gone into the BKB and built up into it if he wanted to, but it seems like he really wants that Blink Dagger just to make sure that he gets on top of these targets before they can use their Time Walk or blink away. He'll only get one chance to make it have that huge impact first and foremost, right? Because in the future, every single time the Dark Ascension's used, they're just going to immediately back off. But looks like OneMove want to make the most out of the potential while they still know the current game state. They take away the Aegis, and they're going to look to continue their push on forward again. It's all about the pressure coming through right now.
Oh, they're going to see Heaven. Can they close the distance, though? It's going to go down to the bottom instead. Melojul sees an easy kill onto Immersion. Got Embrace only delaying the inevitable. And this is important, though, for Melojul. He's gone this Orchid build. You need to continue finding kills. This is an item that doesn't help your farm. So, really, the only way for you to be able to keep up is getting kill after kill after kill.
It does feel like they're doing a little bit too much of trying to chase targets. Like, the Wyvern is the one that you really need to take out. Oh, how would say you
they got
him.
Nicely done, the Bushwhack, just in the nick of timing to be able to cancel that TP. And Knight, he's soon to join in the action as well as Smiling. That's a big one for him to find, having a really good game on the Faceless Void, 4-1 and 2. And
very nicely
look at
done by
Pantomim.
He's had a lot of time to just sit back and farm, man. Like, this is the damage that you need. Oh, he should be okay. Well, maybe not.
Not with Depressed Kid nearby. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Depressed Kid has that Ag shot as well to be playing with. Kaya also with the Vambrace, so plenty of spell amp for the Zeus.
But I like the fact that he's gone into a little bit.
In a second. Void's gonna need some help. Heaven's able to land the shackles. Posh is in once again with a follow-up chain control, and Faceless Void, he's stuck around for a little bit too long to find his farm, just getting too greedy, and Pari Parni in a perfect position to be able to penalize that.
This is the thing, though. I feel like OneMove, they're still in a fairly strong position. Yes, you lost a couple of heroes that you obviously didn't want to, but you had to use Dark Ascension, you had to use Thunder God's Wrath to be able to do that. The recipe for success is still the exact same. Kill Immersion, and then you can do whatever the hell you want. You've got the Aegis to be able to play around, you've got an Enchantress that's very farmed, so you could dish out damage inside of a Chronosphere. Yep, again, there's the enchant, allowing you to secure a free kill.
The mark. Gotcha.
And look, just putting the pressure up top. Someone needs to address this, right? It's either going to be the Zeus or the Wyvern that does it. If Wyvern reveals up top, then you know that you can make the jump towards there.
They do have a really nice ward, though, for Pari Parni to play with by their outpost. So it's going to scout out a couple of heroes starting to connect to top, but this tower is already going to go down. Afterlife.
And they're going to lose that ward as well. As soon as they take the outpost, gives that true sight, so it's going to go away.
Easy clap. Alright, you got Aegis for another 2 minutes here on OneMove. Chrono ready to go. No BKB just yet on Smiling Knight. Zip from the north instead. A peculiar angle from Melojul, but he finds an opening to jump Immersion, and well, he will take that instantly.
You still don't have Dark Ascension for 35 seconds. It's daytime. Like, Pasha's doing the right thing. He knows that he's useless in a team fight right now, so he's looking to put as much pressure as he can down towards the bottom side, but yeah, it just feels like they have no way of contesting against this really strong push that they've got early on from OneMove.
Still, for Pari Parni, you did just lose 2 tier 2 towers, but you are about to be at a stage where you can look to fight. Age is going to tick out in a minute 20. You've got your BKB on Munkushi now. I don't believe Pasha is going to have a BKB by that fight, but Zeus is also starting to really stack up the damage, level 15, so it's going to help him tank up a little bit, but Pari Parni, one fight, they can bring themselves back into this game, and hopefully they can take it in OneMove's territory so they can lead this into an objective.
Oh, I mean, they're almost going to be guaranteed able to do that, right? Look at how many towers they've got to play around. It's really just their triangle that they feel kind of, sort of safe, but you just saw what happened. You have the Wind Ranger being able to be picked off by Melojul on his Storm Spirit, so it just feels like nowhere is safe on the map right now, and it's not like OneMove really feel the need to push their advantage right now, because again, they understand. They've got the Thunder God's Wrath, they've got the Dark Ascension, they've got some decently strong timing, so why not just wait for ours? You've only got 700, 800 gold away from being able to pick up BKB for the Storm Spirit, you've got about 1,000 away for the Faceless Void for his own. Just do that. Then suddenly the Night Stalker suddenly isn't as big of a concern for either of these cores.
You saw that smoke, Pari Parni getting nothing out of it because of the lanes and how they were set up. Top lane was shoved in kind of to the remnants of the tier 2 tower. Mid was past Radiant's observer ward. So it was very obvious that Pari Parni, you get a lot of information on where the creeps are positioned. They are roaming wards, and if no one is hitting them, quite often that is just a telltale on potentially the other team is making a move. So very nicely done from OneMove to back up to at least kind of their half of the map and play accordingly.
Really like this adjustment from Afterlife as well. Like, he didn't go the helm of the Overlord. He understands. He's going up against a Night Stalker, right? The amount of times that we see people just bang their heads against the wall and saying, well, maybe he'll forget to use the Hunter in the night over onto my creep and make it completely useless. No, he goes into the Wraith Pact as well, realizing that, of course, a Zeus is able to dish out a crazy amount of damage, and you still get, of course, great usage out of that Vladimir's offering aura.
All right,
How close
looks
to
like
these
OneMove.
BKBs? They're very close. Very, very close. If they can get up to level 15 as well in the Void, they would love that. Even just level 18 on the Storm Spirit, right? 10 gold away from the BKB really amps up some of the damage that you're able to output as well as that Storm.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a gigantic fight breaking out shortly. Night Stalker's about to pick up his BKB. Actually needs one more component. So we're just waiting for that next engagement.
Dark for Pari Parni, man. Like, they have one ward that was just placed out in a lane that isn't even really a priority for OneMove to go to. Maybe they think it is because it's the last remaining tier 2. They don't have a glyph, but I mean, Roshan is the area that you need to be trying to secure for yourself at this stage.
Look at the press kid. He's under a ward. Melojule's going to jump. They've got Sayu nearby as well. Heaven's going to try and offer some assistance with the shackles, but they're able to dodge it on Melojule. Now they'll turn to Heaven, but Afterlife just a little bit too far away to get that roar. But a big pickoff. You were just mentioning that Pari Parni. I mean, there is Zeus lineup. Often they're the ones that have an advantage in the vision, but it was OneMove with this ward down bottom that was able to scout out the positioning of the Zeus, and they use that instantly to get the kill.
Panto, these D wards, man, it's just using the Hawks to such good effect. It's not a Hawk that's going in the exact same position over and over again. He's just removed like 3 observer wards in the past couple of minutes. It's actually crazy the amount that he's preventing Pari Parni from being able to make any kinds of plays.
Kushi. It's gonna roar the Hoodwink, and they're happy with just dropping the Chronosphere. They've held the Hoodwink in place, so the Sharpshooter's gonna come out too late. A beautiful curse on the choke point will enable the Bloodseeker to reposition. Now, do they feel like they can turn it back around, though? They'll bring down Afterlife to the side. Melojule is able to secure the kill, but now Pasha, he's entered the fight, and, well, he won't be able to make it away. As OneMove, they find a 2-for-1 trade. They're considering about re-entering this engagement as Pantomime off to the north, trying to catch up to the Bloodseeker. Doesn't have this capability to hold him back, though, but OneMove, again, this net worth lead really continuing to grow for them. They're taking some really good engagements.
They are, and it's all because they're waiting for their timings, right? I mentioned before, just wait for the BKB, and then suddenly these team fights become so much easier. Look at exactly what happened. It was a great curse. Immediately, obviously, you've used the Dark Ascension. You want to follow it up with a Crippling Fear, but Faceless Void's able to still just stand there, pop the time dilation. You've got the slows to be able to just convert onto another hero. So, I mean, the fact that OneMove won that team fight with, honestly, 3 of the big abilities that you're playing around, the Thunder God's Wrath, the Dark Ascension, the Winter's Curse, all being used, it's such a huge win for them.
Pantomime is, you just mentioned his de-warding, but he's also continuing to get incredibly farmed, and he's going to be that damage source inside Chrono. Yep. He loves bonus attack speed as well, and well, Afterlife, of course, has the maxed out Inner Beast, so we'll see what it goes for at the 25.
It had the full Hurricane Pike on it, so like he's even more farmed than what he actually looks like.
And Roche is up already. Okay, Chrono is down. You don't have Dark Ascension.
Yeah.
Look at Sayu's positioning. Gets the information that they're coming out to take this fight. Afterlord's gonna hold back the Night Stalker for the moment, but meanwhile, they need to get tabs on Roche. Finally, they're able to do so thanks to Heaven. Pasha's gonna enter the pit, but the Bushwhack at the last second, and the ultimate's a little bit too late from Immersion as well. So Smiling Knight, he picks up the Aegis, and they can chain this into more kills now. Immersion only delaying his own death, and meanwhile, to the right, Melojule, he's zipping for more blood, straight onto Heaven's location. as OneMove have 0 casualties and they get every component of the Roche.
They're just playing this excellently, right? They realize, again, the timings of when the enemy team cannot fight. And that's why they felt so comfortable in being able to go for that Roshan attempt. Again, just another shout out to Pantomim. He used his Wildwing Ripper to make sure that he pushed the Hoodwink out of that Nimbus, prevented him from being burst down at the start of the fight. And even just with the Roshan, realizing that Smiling Knight, he's farmed enough that he doesn't need the rest of his team helping, and the only way that Pari Parni were going to win that team fight was off the back of, like, a godly Winter's Curse, but at the end it just really wasn't all that useful.
The play,
He was just
Curse
playing
down for
with his food a little bit.
25. Yeah, in and out, seeing what reactions he can get. It's a full set, and on Pari Parni there will be no defense. Minkushi is outside the base trying to pick up that little bit of gold to work towards the Lincolns.
It's a bit of copium, but I'm about to say I still kind of have faith in Pari Parni. They've got the Curse, they've got the Dark Ascension, they've got the Thunder God's Wrath, and they've got
Immersion.
BKBs, they've got Lincolns.
They should be able to get the Wyvern at least. They have the Hawk as well, so they're going to see everyone else. Smiling Knight, he clips 3 heroes, also the Storm Spirit and the Chrono, but look at the damage, man! Pantomim blinks behind the Night Stalker, 4 heroes surrounding Pasha, and now they can chain this into core kills. Mikushi, he can't enter the fight. He's got the BKB protected from the Lincolns as well, but he feels like he just cannot run into the middle as OneMove are way too far ahead.
You know I love my Wyvern. There's a big weakness, and that's if you get gone on first in an engagement. And I feel like that's what's been happening to Immersion in, honestly, like the last 5 deaths that he has. He just needs to realize that you need to be playing so much further back than you are right now. It needs to be on the back of the Night Stalker. Pasha, he's a very experienced player. Just let him decide when you're trying to take a lot of these engagements. Let him to be the one to pop the Dark Ascension, because it just makes your life so much easier. Eventually,
You were gonna...
well, you would hope that he has the Blink Dagger as well on the Wyvern. That'll give him a bit of a helping hand as well, but he's only halfway there.
Let's huff together. You're going to jump on the copium real quick. I don't think we had the opportunity to kind of get the full thought out, as we still will not, as Smiling Knight. Well, that is one E. Oh no, we cursed the Lincolns. That's no good. They're converging on their location though. Pasha's going to jump the Hoodwink on the backline. Mukushi with the finishing blow. They're going to turn to Smiling Knight next as well. OneMove, they're late to join this engagement. They do have round 2 to be able to set up on. All eyes on Melajor. He needs to jump the supports. Storm Spirit hasn't found the opening just yet. They just want to retreat though. OneMove. Still got to be cautious though. Pasha has this vision. And there we go. Melajor's in. Onto the Winter Wyvern. Finds the opening and pounces instantly. Trying to bring down Immersion. He's able to do so successfully. And should be okay with the BKB. But Smiling Knight is going to jump back in. Pasha holds him back with the Roar instantly. There's nothing the Night Stalker can do. And meanwhile, Melajor is just holding everyone at bay. Bloodseeker goes in. Night Stalker goes in. But no one else has the follow-up on Pari Parni. The communication just doesn't seem to be there, and it might cost him another death as the Press Kid deep inside the base goes Smiling Knight under the tier 4 towers, but he is playing with them. In and out he goes, and geez, a drop. There's OneMove, a celebratory chrono to secure this game 1 victory.
That's a Grandmaster playing his comfort hero right there. I really like the way that OneMove played that from start to finish. Their laning stage was incredibly solid, taking advantage of some mistakes that Pari Parni had. They didn't have any of those heroes that were able to go in onto the backlines to give that vision that they needed to be able to play around. The Wind Ranger, probably not the best pick going into an Enchantress that was picked before that. So maybe just going a little bit too much into the comfort. And then, of course, the Wyvern's positioning, not necessarily ideal. But, well, OneMove, they took all of those small mistakes and they made them seem so much bigger. That's the mark of a good team, who have only really lost to these teams that only have 1 loss right now in the DPC. So they're still a good team. Let's see if they're good enough to finish off the entire series.
That's the question. Can they continue with this momentum heading into game 2? Because they are looking like a really solid team. They're able to execute their lineup. And we saw that, I mean, this went to Wyvern. Maybe it is not a top 5 hero. It just felt like maybe Melagil, he had a very good game though. Storm Spirit's a hero that we do not get often, but under these circumstances where a lot of the other Spirit heroes are very difficult to play into the Bloodseeker just because of the way the Rupture is going to work against them, felt like Storm Spirit could really help out with the role they were requiring, and we saw Melagil and how he was able to perform on it, and everyone else as well. Just felt like OneMove, we saw props have to be given to Pantomim. You brought it up a lot through that game, but the fact that he was able to pretty much take care of a lot of the vision that the lads on Pari Parni was playing with, and often you don't expect this because it's a Zeus lineup. Usually they are the team that has the vision advantage, but not the case this game thanks to Pantomim, and that was huge to be able to help out for OneMove to take this game 1. But again, the question is, can they continue with this momentum into game 2? We'll find out after the break.